can't believe I've never actually tried a Genetron mirror match before. I suppose that's one way to get my Genetron fix. I'm secretly hoping we'll see two different playstyles out of these players so we really have something to compare and contrast. And you can immediately see the Terran influence here, as character puts down his processing node at the top of his ramp. So does his opponent. It looks like they're both going to try to wall off their main. Now, I had thought you needed to build the node close to the processing core in order to get that buffing effect of the core's energy. But I ran a test and the range is pretty far. I think it's unlimited because the processing node effect seems to work even if you build them on the opposite side of the map. I know, Zugzwang, that was a super dorky thing to do, but I'm totally into this. Anywho, our Genetron player in the lower left, he's not concerned with plot or setting. He's all about character! Oh, we got a scout with weird pathing coming out from Fireally. Our player in the top right is not opposed to the ignition or combustion of raw materials. He is a Fireally! He's also a Starcraft caster, by the way. Check out his channel, I'll put a link in the description below. He's also potentially gonna get cheesed by character here. You don't normally send two workers holding hands to scout. Oh, make that 3. Actually, neither player seems to be looking to expand right now. They might actually both be one-basing here. Okay, I'm officially interested. What are these two players dialing up for us? Each player's manufacturer is done. We're no longer getting our goods from China, people. We're getting them from the Genetron. Fireally's got 2 ACRs suspiciously conspiring outside of character's base. But hold the gravy on that poutine. We've got a fabricator going up for character. And he's adding at least one uploader. That third worker makes me think there's another one coming. As you probably know, the main's on Oxide. They've got this Reaper door. So it looks to me like character's probably trying to build an Insider and sneak it up there. It looks like a Batmobile convertible from the 1980s. But boy oh boy can those things assassinate workers. Yeah, he's got the second uploader he needs to make the Insider. Fireally does not see it, has no knowledge of it, and he could be in trouble. He is, though, perhaps unknowingly counter-cheesing. He's putting down a pair of uploaders himself. It's almost like building tech labs, except you can build them in advance. Very cool. Fireally has a fabricator of his own on the way, but he's building it in his main. And it doesn't look like it's producing anything, which tells me he's probably tech jumping. So this isn't just ordinary cheese, this is like high-tech cheese. Character's doing like the equivalent of a factory rush. 3 uploaders for Fireally. This is crazy, I'm digging this. What is he doing? Character sending one of his ACRs back home. Neither player has much for defense at this point. Just a couple Spitfires out there. They are both tech jumping, or if you prefer, tech cheesing. Oh, there we go. Fireally investing in static defense. Static D, so important for the Genetron. Oh, and is he going to be able to block off that Reaper door? Still no production facility at Fireally's proxy site. The uploaders assure us it's coming. Oh, I am so wrong. It's not an Insider, it's a mole. The mole is kind of the Genetron equivalent of a siege tank. Once it digs in like that, it can't move, but it gets a very long-range, powerful shot. This looks like it's going to be analogous to Terran siege tanks reverse clipping their opponent. The problem is we don't know how character intends to get vision topside. Oh, Fireally didn't block the Reaper door. He repositioned it to the side. Oh, here we go. Fireally's building an assembly array. Think of that as the Genetron starport. And that explains why the fabricator's sitting there unused. It's a prerequisite for the assembly array. Oh, and character's doubling down with a second fabricator. Second mole pops out. This is getting interesting because both players are being very patient. Whose cheese is gonna hit first? That could be determinative because there's very little in the way of defense. Particularly for character. He's basically got nothing at all. It's a Jupiter being bathed in that assembly array. I love how with the Genetron you can see the units getting built before they actually arrive. Oh, hold the phone on that. An Insider is out. That's how he's gonna get vision. That mole's in the way. Up he goes. The attacks are gonna be simultaneous. Jupiter hits. Hits the Revenant bomb. The moles are taking out the repulsor defense. Oh, that Jupiter gets an insane speed boost when it drops that shot. Fireally's harass is good, but character owns a section of the real estate of his main. Neither player really has any defense at this point. This could devolve into a base race pretty quickly. Or will somebody blink and pull back their units to defend? Oh, Fireally's adding Hornets. Why not? There's no defense here. This is fish in the barrel shooting here. Jupiter's returning for another pass. There's that worker pull. But the Hornet's just gonna follow him. Oh, Character's Insider wants to go for the workers. He's got two of them. He needs them to do their thing. Looks like he wants to shut down that Fabricator first. There we go. Let the moles do that. Fireally's Fabricator goes into lockdown, and the Fabricators go right at the ACRs. Oh, Fireally's building a Hornet swarm, and the workers are dying in droves on both sides. Character's got the bigger army at this point. Much bigger, but he's got no answer to air. Both these players need to start thinking about stashing and hiding some SCVs, because they are all gonna get wiped out. Both players have pretty much been evicted from their starting location. Or as they say on Seinfeld, neither player is the master of his domain. What a two-way beatdown. Fireally with only 3 ACRs left. Character with 5 and dropping. Fireally's no longer mining, but he does have a bit of a stash. And as I say that, Character just stopped mining. Oh, here come the moles. If this is going to be a building elimination situation, that's a lot of DPS that just rolled out. Character does not have enough money to make a new ACR. If he loses the last 5 he has left, he is done. A Revenant bomb is taking out his manufacturer, and the Hornets are making a beeline to his production proxy. Oh, those flames do 10 damage every second, and it lasts for 9 seconds, as that ACR just found out. Oh, Character got a turret out, but it's not enough to deal with that swarm of Hornets. They're gonna lock down those Fabricators, and I mean literally lock them down. Captain, there's a mole in our base. You mean a traitor among us? No, literally a mole in our base. 2 workers for each player, but it's starting to look like it's Character who's in far more peril. This has very quickly turned into a game of air supremacy. Fireally has lost his processing core, but he has started another one. He's given up on his main and he's rebuilding somewhere else. What can Character do at this point? He's got to find Fireally's new base and shut it down before the Hornets find him. This is going to devolve into a game of cat and mouse. Notice how when that building goes into lockdown mode, its armor shoots up. It becomes that much harder to kill the last little bit. Oh, Fireally just got supply blocked, but he really wasn't producing units at this point. Oh, the Hornets have come into the main. Fireally is going to belatedly clean up his base. Oh, I love the death animation on that mole. Character spends the very last of his money making another worker. He started mining again. Can he somehow claw his way back into this? He finds Fireally's proxy. Did he see that processing core going up? If it did, it should fill his heart with dread. Alright, both players just took time out to comment on how weird this game is. That's what you get when both players cheese at the same time. Fireally's Hornet Swarm going for building elimination. His opponent's not leaving the game. Character is sending his Insider over to Fireally's proxy base. Maybe he can get something done there, but if so, he's going to have to do it before there's an air response out of Fireally. There's actually a pair of repulsors to defend there too. You'll want to get that Insider around the back. He is. Fireally has to recall those Hornets to defend. Character can hit the core and stay out of range of the repulsors. But here comes the swarm. The clock is ticking down to 0 for Character. Fireally ignores the Spitfires and goes right for that high-value Insider. It is dead and the proxy attack is over. Only 1 worker left for both players, and the Jupiter almost kills Characters. He pulls it out before it burns. It's a valiant effort by Character, but he just has no way to oppose Fireally at this point. And there's the belated GG. You can't blame Character for a late GG though. When there's that much chaos, it's hard to know if you're ahead or behind. Congratulations to Fireally. It's hard not to cheer for a fellow YouTuber. I really did like the strat that Character brought to this game. It was a well thought out attack. Though I'm biased, I think everything that uses moles is cool. I think what I'm gonna do though with the little time I have left is explain how that Jupiter works. Because it's a neat little unit. It does not have an attack per se. It has an ability that you have to activate. So it requires a lot of micro and attention. But compared to a lot of other units, it's surprisingly easy to use. Hopefully this demo will show that they can kill a drone on a direct hit, and if not, they'll lay fire in the mineral line requiring a drone pull. The real thing that sticks out for me as being different is the cooldown's only 7 seconds. But they lose that ability to do that killer flyby. That requires energy. The further they blitz, the more energy they use up. When they run out, they wind up hanging around the static D. Don't forget, you can use the command center, aka the processing core, to donate energy to units, so you can refuel these guys up. And then when you do, you'll be right back to this. Why not test drive one today? Last thing, a little pro tip that Fireally was showing us today. To make a Jupiter, you only need 2 uploaders, but Fireally used 3. Why was that? Because the extra uploader reduces the production time of the unit. So if you're trying to rush somebody and time is of the essence, that extra uploader could make a difference for you. Or do you want to spend that money on defense? Something to experiment with anyway. So from my base to yours, Zugzwang out. To continue your StarCraft journey, Nova advises you to click the video in the upper rectangle. But Kerrigan warns you to watch your 6 and click the video in the bottom rectangle. Or you can stimpack your StarCraft experience. Subscribe to Zugzwang StarCraft. Just hit the circle. From my base to yours, Zugzwang out.